territory far.
That undignified dismount wasn't quite the slide Adam expected. With only half a slope to build momentum, he peaked at 15 miles per hour and traveled a measly 4 feet.
You barely made it off the end of the ramp.
I don't know what happened. I was good and slippery, and the track did a great job of keeping me on the track. But, yeah, I landed about 4 feet away.
That's not a good sign.
No, it's not a good sign for the myth, but I'm raring to go again. That was a hell of a lot of fun.
And for take 2, he'll need a little more slide. So he heads to 3/4 of the way up. The landing may have been a little hard on his derriere, but at least Adam got air.
Oh, wow!
But there was one frothy problem.
By the time I hit the ramp, so much water had sprayed into my face from the overly wet ramp that I couldn't see a thing. I hit the ramp blind. I did everything wrong. But I landed okay. Coach, I'm ready to go in for another run. Will you send me in?
Okay, but to be safe for this run, they ditch the bucket and give the slide a more even spray from top to bottom.
If you remember, I told Jamie that I thought the sprayers were a stupid idea, and I was so sure we weren't going to use them to grease the ramp that I told him that if we did use them, I'd pay him $100. I hope he forgets.
I doubt it, Adam. The Heineman never forgets. With the safety sorted out, the guys can concentrate on this myth. There are 2 parts to the super slide: accuracy and distance.
Do I have 115 feet of travel in my future? Honestly, I don't think so. Okay, I'm ready to go from the top.
It says be all downhill from here.
Yeah, we'll break a leg.
Here we go.
But will a slide from the very top be enough to launch Adam the same distance as the video stunt slider?
3, 2, 1. Oh, it doesn't take much. Here we go. Whoa! Yeah! Wow!
Well, that was one mighty mega whoosh. But Adam only flew 70 feet. A far cry from the 115 feet of the myth.
I'm alive, right?
I think so.
How far did I fly?
You flew about 70 feet.
That's totally intense. That was, above and beyond everything else, the single most intense thing I've ever done on the show. Editors, just roll it one more time. I want to watch this. Yeah, look at that! I am screaming involuntarily the whole way to the water. The moment I feel the water hit my feet, I am so grateful because I know it's a good landing. I wish you could try this.
But now it's time to call in the heavies.
So why do I have to go down the slide when Adam already has? Good to go. Oh, you don't think I'm going to pass something like this up, do you? I mean, look at it. And besides, who knows, I might go further.
It isn't a case of anything Adam can do, Jamie can do better.
Just relax and clench your butt. That worked for me so well.
It's about mass. Jamie is slightly heavier than Adam, and that could give him an edge when it comes to flight distance.
Don't you wonder what's going through Jamie's head right now? Keep my core tight. Relax. It's probably not. It's probably more like, wonder how to reassemble the rack on my truck. Maybe some quarter 20 bolts. Oh, it's time to go? Okay, here we go.
So, Adam, this whole thing seems kind of fun, but it's also terrifying. Maybe it's terrifyingly fun? What do you think?
I had exactly the same assessment of the thing. Tell me what you feel like after the fly.
I guess it's now or never. Here we go.
Jamie starts at the safety distance, 3/4 of the way up.
Perfect! Whoa! You sounded great going down. Whoa!
It is kind of involuntary.
You see what I mean about like not having much of a choice in how things are going?
I didn't keep my legs quite as spread as you were, which was part of the reason I came off just a hair sideways.
Yeah.
That's kind of painful coming down. If you're not centered, that's a lot of hit.
Yeah, when I landed on my butt, I'm still sore from that.
With Jamie's safety run complete, he heads for the top.
Just look at this thing. I mean, who gets to do this? This is fun.
Fun, but will he be able to fly the full 115 feet of the myth? Jamie made quite a splash. Because according to the GPS, he peaked at 30 miles per hour and achieved the furthest flight yet.
I just went 30 miles an hour down the ramp and I flew 72 feet. Now, we know, looking at the video, that the guy had to have traveled about 115 feet. And backing out from there, doing the math, that tells us that he had to be going about 40 to 45 miles an hour through the air. Not looking good for the myth.
Yep, the mythical 115 feet is impossible to match. So next, they'll focus on part 2, accuracy.
So you flew 72 feet on that run.
I beat you.
By 2 feet.
Yes.
But now that leads to the natural question of accuracy. If we did this on dry land, could we place the pool somewhere where we'd hit it every time and survive?
We can arrange that.
Can I be the one to do it? Can I be the one to run the test? Please, please, please.
Well, with all this enthusiasm, I suppose so.
Excellent, excellent. I'll suit up.
A flight of 115 feet is busted. So now it's all down to accuracy.
To me, the soul of this myth boils down to accuracy. Is the slider going to hit the same location repeatedly, and thus can they place a pool in the middle of a grassy field and hit it, thus saving their lives? Okay, so from everything we've done so far, we've calculated that we're hitting a spot that's pretty much in the center of that circle behind me. But here's how I want you to think about this. Picture that that is dry land, and the only salvation you have at the end of that dry land is that circle, which is full of life-saving water somewhere in the middle of the dry land, and you are going to trust your life to hitting that target? I would not. I personally am really glad that the whole thing is surrounded by water. I just can't give it 100% that I'm going to hit it.
I'm going to try and hit it. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Go for the gold star.
Dude, I wish you could see it from here. From here, the ring looks like the size of a quarter.
Well, then you shouldn't have any trouble hitting it.
Okay.
It all comes down to this. One souped-up super slider and one floating ring of rubber. Will Adam be accurate enough to ring in this myth?
And 3, 2, 1.
That was a perfect splash landing.
Dude, I didn't even break it.
Adam's final run propelled him 70 feet and then directly into the center of the pseudo-kiddie pool.
I don't think this is really going to take off as an amusement park ride, though. It's a little intense for the kids.
Well done.
Thank you. I am gobsmacked that that worked so well.
So Adam's accuracy was actually pretty good. But let's remember that in the clip, the pool was about 115 feet away from the end of the ramp. And that means that if what happened here happened in that clip, that guy would be splat about in the middle of the run. Not a good thing.
Not a good thing. But where does that leave this mega whoosh myth?
Well, as far as the distance goes, it's busted because we'd have to have a slide at least twice as long as this to get that 115 feet. But accuracy?
Plausibility of the accuracy is the thing I find most astounding in this. When we started testing this, I would have never called that we'd be reliably hitting that dot time and again. That you could somehow set this up on dry land and actually hit the target.
Well, for the myth to be true, both halves have to be true, and they're not, so it's busted.
That's awfully technical of you, but okay, I'll buy that. It's busted.
So where's my $100?
I gotta say, that was the most intense thing I've ever done on this show.
Yeah, well, while we were busting this myth in the field, our researchers were busting it in cyberspace.
How so?
They contacted the people that made the clip, and you know what? It was CG.
Double plus busted.
Busted.